I had my children. It definitely took its toll.
Okay.
At the end of the day, yeah, for sure.
So when we look at these points from that book of how not to hate your husband,
Right.
did you choose to go? You're basically saying you chose to go back to work like that.
I think that my setup was a bit different, and in if we're talking about gender roles, so my first child, I had to go back to work because I was separated from her dad and going through a divorce after she was a few weeks old. So I had to go back to work, and I went back to work before we got separated so that I would have a form of income. And that was something that had to be done because, it was not a safe marriage for me, and I had to go back to work to support myself and my daughter in order to leave the marriage. So that was something that had to be done. And I think that form of independence as a woman, definitely didn't come from my upbringing because culturally that wasn't how we were raised. However, I took that into my next marriage and the father of my boys to make sure that I was financially independent, probably based on the experience that I'd had with my first child. And money is important to a woman. And I think that's something that I coach women on, that because it's not something that we're naturally told, or we're not, our assumed roles, we're not given that lesson of, usually we're not given that lesson. And there is the assumption that the man will look after the finances in a home. And that puts women in a position where they don't have access to money. So that's why I went back to work.
Do you think that may have shaped like the strong convictions you have around imposed gender roles? Assumed gender roles, let's say.
You're assuming I have strong convictions around it, is it?